They say silence speaks louder than words, but when a man walks away, silence screams. It's not just distance she feels, it's disconnection from the power she once had over you, because when you finally stop chasing, something in her world collapses. Not because you left, but because she never thought you could. This isn't about revenge. It's not about games. It's about energy, and what happens when a man finally learns to protect his peace. So let's talk about what a woman really feels when you walk away. Not the version she shows her friends, but the truth she hides from herself. 1. The shock. When her ego collides with reality. When you walk away from a woman, the first thing she feels isn't sadness. It's shock. Not heartbreak, not confusion, but disbelief. Because in her mind, you weren't supposed to walk away. You were supposed to chase, to prove, to fight for her. That's the script she's used to. Most women are conditioned to believe that men are emotionally predictable, that no matter how much they push you away, you'll still come crawling back. So when you suddenly stop chasing, it's like pulling the ground from beneath her feet. At first, she'll act like nothing happened. She'll laugh louder with her friends, post a few more stories, and pretend you never mattered. But deep down, her mind is already racing. She checks her phone more often, wondering if you texted. She watches your stories without liking anything, trying to figure out what you're thinking. She'll tell herself lies just to calm her ego. He's just trying to get my attention. He'll come back when he cools down. But days pass, and you don't text, you don't call, you don't even flinch. That's when the panic begins to crawl in. Because now she realizes something terrifying. You might actually mean it. Her power starts to fade, and she can feel it slipping away. You were her energy source. Your attention was the mirror that reflected her worth. Now that mirror's gone, and she doesn't like what she sees without it. And the funny thing is, this shock isn't about love. It's about control. It's her ego trying to process why a man who once adored her suddenly disappeared without needing closure. Your silence becomes the loudest message she's ever received. And she hates that, because in silence, she can't argue. She can't guilt-trip you. She can't use emotions to pull you back in. That's why Stoicism is so powerful. When a man stops reacting, he stops feeding chaos. He becomes a mirror that forces her to face herself. So in that first stage, the shock, remember this: she's not hurting because you're gone. She's hurting because, for the first time, she can't control your presence. And that, my friend, is how her ego begins to crack. 2. The confusion. When she can't read you. Anymore, after the initial shock fades, something deeper starts to happen. Confusion. She can't figure you out anymore, and that drives her insane. You see, women are emotional readers. They don't always need your words to know what you feel. But when you walk away in calmness, your silence becomes unreadable. It's not anger. It's not desperation. It's peace. And peace is something she doesn't know how to manipulate. She starts running through mental scenarios. Maybe he's seeing someone else. Maybe he lost interest. Maybe he just doesn't care anymore. Each thought hits her differently, but the common thread is confusion. Because your absence doesn't align with the version of you she built in her head. She thought she had you figured out. She thought she could always reel you back in with a smile, a story, or a simple, "Hey stranger" text. But now, none of that works. And that makes her restless. She checks your profile again. She scrolls through your old messages. She looks for any sign of emotion, something to hold on to. But what she finds is silence. Stoic silence. The kind of silence that says, "I've moved on from needing your validation." This confuses her because most men fold under pressure. Most men can't handle emotional distance. But here you are, calm, unbothered, living your life like she never existed. And here's the thing, that calmness doesn't just confuse her. It reverses the power dynamic. Now she's the one questioning herself. She's the one overthinking, replaying every conversation, wondering what went wrong. And the more she thinks, the more she loses her grip on control. That's why Stoicism isn't cold, it's clarity. It's when you stop chasing emotions and start guarding your energy. Because when a man becomes unreadable, a woman starts to see him as mysterious again. And that mystery, that quiet strength, is what pulls her in without you doing a single thing. So in this stage, confusion isn't your enemy. It's your silent victory. 3. The jealousy. When her mind turns against her, here's where things start to twist. When a woman can't understand your silence, she starts trying to replace it. She'll act fine, maybe even happier. She might post pictures with friends, laugh more in public, or pretend she's living her best life. But behind that mask, she's watching you, quietly, secretly, endlessly. Because now, every move you make feels like a mystery. She wonders, is he talking to someone? Does he even think about me? Was I not enough? And jealousy begins to creep in, not just of other women, but of the peace you have. You've become the man she thought she could control, and now she's realizing she never owned you at all. That jealousy eats her alive because it's not about wanting you back. It's about wanting the power she lost. She misses the way you used to chase her, compliment her, make her feel like she was the prize. But now that energy's gone, and she doesn't know who she is without it, she starts playing games, liking your photos, sending random texts, acting like she doesn't care. But those are all small fishing lines, hoping you'll bite. Because deep down, she just wants to know she still matters. But the man who's mastered Stoicism doesn't take the bait. He knows attention is currency, and he's done spending it on validation. So while she's spiraling in jealousy, you're at peace. You're not avoiding her, you're just prioritizing yourself. And that's something women find both frustrating and magnetic. Because jealousy isn't just about love. It's about realizing that someone who once needed you now doesn't. And that quiet realization, it hits harder than any breakup ever could. 4. The regret. When her ego starts to break. There comes a point where even her pride can't protect her anymore. The pretending stops. The noise fades. And suddenly she feels it. Regret. She starts remembering the small things, how safe she felt around you, how you used to listen, even when she acted like she didn't care, how your presence carried calmness she took for granted. Regret doesn't come all at once. It comes in flashes. A random song, a photo, a place you went together, and each one reminds her that she pushed away the one man who didn't beg to stay. That realization stings because it's not just about losing you, it's about losing her own image. She prided herself on being the one in control, the one who could walk away first. But you beat her at her own game, not with manipulation, but with maturity. And that's where regret grows deeper, because women don't regret losing weak men. They regret losing the ones who made them feel something real, the ones who stayed calm when she tried to provoke, the ones who walked away, not out of anger, but peace. Now she starts replaying everything, wondering if she should have done more. Maybe she should have texted back. Maybe she shouldn't have pulled away. But those maybes don't change the truth. You're gone, and she feels it. That's the beauty of walking away with dignity. You didn't have to prove anything. You didn't have to beg. You simply removed yourself. And that silence became her mirror. And when she finally looks into that mirror, she doesn't see power anymore. She sees what she lost. 5. The acceptance. When she finally understands who you were. This is the final stage, the hardest one. It's when the noise stops, the jealousy fades, and the denial burns out. She finally sits with herself, and it hits her. You weren't just another guy. You were the man who showed her what self-control looks like. You were the calm in her chaos. And now that you're gone, she realizes the difference between attention and presence. That's the part that breaks her, because she thought she wanted excitement, but what she really wanted was peace. And now, that peace lives where she can't reach it anymore, in your silence. She might not ever tell you this, but she'll carry that awareness for a long time, because deep down, she knows she didn't lose you to another woman. She lost you to your own growth. That's Stoicism in its purest form, not ignoring emotions, but mastering them. You didn't walk away to hurt her. You walked away to protect your energy. And that's why the man who walks away never truly loses. He just reclaims what was his all along, his peace, his power, his sense of self. So if you've ever walked away and wondered if she felt anything, trust me, she did. She just won't admit it, because in the end, walking away wasn't your loss. It was her lesson. If you're still here, it means you understand. You're not bitter, you're aware. You're not cold, you're centered. And the moment you become that kind of man, you stop chasing women, and women start noticing you. So comment below, I walk with calm, because from this day forward you don't chase, you attract.